My video for September the 9th, 2019 is video number 3202. The title is Outrageous Conspiracy Theories. Here's the sad truth. All major crime is premeditated. That it is carefully planned is a given. 9/11 is certainly a case in point. That was no accident. And the stories that resulted were just that, stories. Tales told by both the perpetrators and those who tried to figure out how it really happened. Boy Bush summed up the official story of 9/11 in these words, quote, "Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories concerning the attacks of September the 11th. Malicious lies that attempt to shift the blame away from the terrorists themselves, away from the guilty," end quote. That is exactly what happened. The blame was shifted. To think that Pearl Harbor was a surprise attack after decades of revelations is insane. We live on a planet frightened by terroristic fraudsters who profit from terror and war. Those who deny conspiracy theories are enablers. Often they are simply too lazy to explore the obvious facts, lulled to sleep, diverted by things that really do not matter. Meanwhile, things that do matter are ignored. I just got off the phone a little bit ago now with a friend who actually contributed to the idea of this video. And her name is Cassie, and she's originally from New York, not far from where I grew up in New Jersey, actually. And she also moved to Florida, and now she's in yet another state. But she's been a friend of mine online since 2012. So a long time. And she said she had a conversation with me once before, but quite honestly, I don't remember specifically that conversation. But I had made a comment on the Facebook page. I struggle trying to figure out what the truth actually is. And she responded, "You will know it when it all makes sense. Not a thread in you will be able to deny it. We've been bombarded with disinformation, had to relearn everything, and it's extremely time consuming. The thing is, most won't even attempt to learn. That's what makes us different." And I mentioned on the conversation I just had with her that I have a friend who continues day in and day out looking for ways to get out of the mesh created in the legal system in this country. And she's paid a great price, and many others have paid even a greater price. They're no longer breathing on this planet when they've tried to be whistleblowers and wake people up to the reality that we live on a planet that is operated not for the benefit of humanity, but for the benefit of a small clique of individuals who consider themselves above everybody else. The majority are just peons, and their lives do not mean a thing. And folks, that's the sad reality. And we need something that awakens enough of us that we, as Cassie said, we won't be able to deny it anymore. It will become so obvious. But what's that? What is that going to be? You know, of course, those that commit crimes that are premeditated conspire. That's that conspiracy. That's what a conspiracy is. It's premeditation. It's planning something in advance. One of the things that I watch occasionally when I watch television now, which I didn't do for over 2 years, but now I kill time usually between about 8 p.m. and midnight, because I don't go to bed and try to sleep and then get back up and put my video up at midnight as usual, and then try to get back to sleep when I go back to bed, because I found that I get more sleep in a row when I wait to put my video up and then uh, go to bed after that. So I watch TV, but in some of the things, they show very careful planning, and it takes a lot of uncovering to get to the truth in many of those instances. And that's just simply the reality. I mean, some people have premeditated so well their plans, and they thought they covered all their tracks, but they usually leave one or two things that can be discovered by the investigators, and they can be made to pay for their crimes. And to think that things just happen, accidentally, is the root of insanity. These things are not accidental, folks. 9/11 was not accidental. Reports are now coming out showing that Building 7 was controlled demolition. Well, they all were controlled demolition. All of them, buildings 1 and 2 and 7 of the World Trade Center, they were all controlled demolition. It had nothing to do with airplanes hitting them at all. Airplanes do not bring down buildings. That's not a conspiracy theory or it is a conspiracy theory that airplanes brought down the buildings, but that would have been the only time in history it ever happened, but that's not what happened. Jet fuel cannot ignite and melt steel frame buildings. It just does not happen. It's impossible. The heat does not get hot enough to do that kind of damage. Yet these are the official stories that we've been told. And the official stories are the ones that are outrageous conspiracy theories. They're the ones that are lying to us. It's the official narrative that is the deception. All wars have been pre-planned. Now, I just watched a video earlier, was it last night or earlier this morning? I can't remember. In any case, I watched a video that says that every 200 years, basically, we go into some kind of a cataclysmic event that wipes things out, and there's mud floods. And Mud Fossil University was one of the things that I jotted a note down about it to look up Mud Fossil University. But some of these buildings go 2 or 3 stories below the land line. That's how much mud was piled up. And children that survived, and I don't know, that's one part that I don't understand, how so many children survived, but they took children to all these orphanages all over the world. And this is not something that happened in one isolated locations. This is something that apparently happened worldwide. So there's lots of things, and these are not conspiracy theories. These are things that there's evidence being uncovered that is hidden from us by the mainstream media and by the powers that think that they're the ones that are supposed to be empowered, when in fact they are the very problem. That's the problem. That people that have risen to power are the ones that create and conspire against humanity so that they can be uplifted and humanity destroyed. And now the conspiracy is that they're going to eliminate all the useless eaters and use robots for all the things that need to be produced. Is that a conspiracy theory too? No, that's what they're actually doing. There are actually robots. I've watched videos of some of these robots, and some of them can almost think, or at least they can give the impression that they're almost thinking, but they're not sentient beings. They don't have souls, as it were. And yet everything that's made is made from something that has life force in it, because the whole world and the whole universe is virtually alive, and there's a great deception taking place. That's not a conspiracy theory, folks. That's the reality of the world that we live in. We live in a world run by fallen angels and demonic elements that align with those fallen angels, and everything they do is based on deceptions. I got a little bit over that. I wasn't looking at the clock, but thank you folks for listening, and namaste.